Okay, I am back. Hello, welcome to Outer Worlds. Ooh, maybe I'll run the Needler. And, that's right, last time my controller ran out of juice, and, yeah. But I am finally in Tartarus, and I'm going to see about rescuing What's-His-Face. I think I need to try going around this way this time, because when I went the other way, I got stuck. And I am definitely not going to make it all the way over there without at least one conversation. And that's fine. It's two conversations that make me nervous. Okay. Oh, let me stop climbing.
Are you new here? I didn't think we were hiring more staff.
Because if you don't talk to somebody and you keep going, they shoot at you. Oh, because I've already used this one. Are you talking to me while on shift?
Oh, no. Don't tell anyone, please.
Your secret's safe with me.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go. I assume to here? Okay, good. My restricted thing has gone away. Costolorine, what is that? Is that something to do with my gun? Huh. Oops, I was kneeling. I didn't mean to be kneeling. Whatever. It's not stealing if you're already in jail? Question mark? Yeah, okay, so this is like a staging area, looks like. Transition to the pit. Oh, jeez, that's exciting. Okay. Okay, so this is restricted. Sure. LBR Nth Storage Terminal. Oh, Labyrinth. Note from your favorite warden, please do not leave perishables in here. We mark this as cold storage because we're starting to move pods in here. This is not an actual freezer. Next time I find a decomposed box in here, I'm leaving it on the air conditioner intake for a week. Oh dear. Access storage manifest. Dimethyl sulfoxide canisters. Oh yeah. There was the whole thing in the base game about me having to get dimethyl sulfoxide in order to wake up people from the hope. I had completely forgotten about that. Anyways, out straitjackets, riot batons, out ballistic vests, in hibernation chamber, out indoctrination pamphlets, in forced pacification system refills, hibernation chamber, material storage and shipping containers. Yeah, so they're just putting people on ice, is what this looks like. But we knew that, like, isn't that the plan for the whole frickin' colony? Right? To get around the there's not enough good food to eat? Okay. Excuse me. An analysis from engineers Rodfield, Crane, and Geist. Beginning with the requirement that every chamber receive a constant supply of, at minimum, 34 kilowatts, the occupants of these chambers be injected with a steady supply of UDL's patented Vito hibernation fluid, and this run-on sentence carries on for 12 pages before finally concluding. And thus, in order to maintain structural integrity throughout the area designated as the pit, we recommend that chambers are installed in cylindrical fashion around supporting structure dug into the crust of Tartarus to a maximum depth of... This conclusion extends for another 2 pages. Okay. I guess that's it. I don't really need... But, nonetheless. Okay. Solitary confinement prisoner manifest. Hague S. Possession of anti-UDL communications. Duration 17. Out Williams T. In Williams T. Citing violence. Random selection. Error. Undefined. I don't like any of that. I don't like any of this. Fucking prisons. Okay. Okay, well, I'm just gonna real quick zoom up here. Nothing to see here. Because I think the further I go...
Let's go, troops. Stellar base counting on us.
Oh, well, I think we got. The Iconoclast. The Iconoclast! I have allies! More allies. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I realized while watching the thing, oh, they're getting everybody for me. Wow. Thanks, guys. That Junlei must have been making the announcement, and she was, like, supporting us specifically, censorship, to be like, they helped us, I'm gonna help them. And I think that's amazing. Oh.
Waste of company ammo.
And,
we're doing this!
yeah. I don't know how I feel about this gun. Oh, shit. Oh, it has different modes? Oh, this like, whoa, Rid of Life, okay. So this does different, I get it. This is a cool gun, so now it's got the green, because it's doing, how do you even get over there?
We're not getting through.
It does the corruption thing, the corrosion or whatever. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. Okay, and I don't have to reload. Reloading changes the damage type. That's pretty snazzy. Is there a map? I'm like, I don't see how to get to this. Oh, I guess there's a different elevator I could have taken, might have to take. Whatever. To be honest, I am really not concerned with like 100%ing this place. Just because it's the last one, and hey, is that one of the Van Noy's brothers or people, sisters? Yay! Hello, you guys are awesome, and I'm sorry about the time I kind of almost killed you, but really you killed me. I was trying to rescue them, and I did not recognize them. It was good times. Anyways, I'm not too concerned with like 100%ing the place because I don't need stuff. Oh, interesting. And it just makes me stressed out to try to 100% something like this when it's like I'm constantly in disguise and things like that.
You new here? I didn't think we were hiring more staff.
Yeah, you guys are really not on the ball.
Oh, no. Don't tell anyone, please.
No, I won't.
Thank you.
You know, and you've got like the suspense music and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. I just want to get through this place. Status sealed, unsealed door. Perfect. Green screen. Huh. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. Access to secure data is a fireable offense. Furthermore, being fired staff is punishable by life in prison. Gross. Cameras. Trying to get straight with Akande's orders. Only a few things more from my end, but I don't know what we'll do about cameras. She says security footage ain't enough. They want proper reels? What's going on? She's bringing a VIP for an internment. Security's ramping up too. Sorry for the inconvenience. It's a fine mess down here. It says something about recording an announcement. They're all overly excited. It's hush-hush, but I guess this VIP's been on the run for a while. I bet the engineers have a few cameras. I'll see if I can track some down. Oh, is this to deal with Phineas? Yeah, you know her. It's our heads. You have no idea how tough it was getting a fucking green tarp. Yeah, it looks like they had to paint a tarp green instead. Didn't I have to kill Akande? Wasn't that like... Let me look at these notes. Rockwell visit to do. Confiscate badges done. Reprint badges pending. Change maintenance locks pending new locks. Order new locks done. Reevaluate lockdown procedure. Updating docking authority with new lockdown procedure. Intake bet. Over under weekly. Bottles 5, 621. Set weapons 4. No, I don't want to do this one. I liked this one. Okay, so I've got a new elevator to take, and nobody alive to tell me not to. Easy.
All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So
Hey,
get in
guys,
there
come
and
in.
fight!
Oh, he tried. He tried real hard. I was not expecting allies. I have to admit. Am I encumbered? Is this why I'm fucking walking so slow? I am encumbered. Oh my god, you guys. Who let me become encumbered? Don't answer that. That's better. Yeah, I'm not even gonna pick up stuff. I do not need stuff. Hey guys, thank you. I'm just gonna zoom on through here.
Guess this is it, huh? Take a breath now, folks. Once we're up there, I suspect we ain't gonna have time to stop shooting.
Yeah, no more disguises, no more allies. I suppose.
After all you've done, all the work you've destroyed, all the money you've cost me, your misguided crusade has doomed Halcyon.
You know what? I'm gonna do this. What can I say? I like to cause trouble.
Fantastic. The biggest thorn in our side we've ever had, and you just like to cause trouble. In any other circumstance, I'd admire your boldness. In this one, however, I have only 2 words for you. Fuck off.
Whoa, now, there's no call for hostility. I feel like just trolling the fuck out of this guy.
No call for... You unbelievable bitch. Sophia should be the one wasting her time with you, but you killed her. I'll have you hanged, quartered, bankrupted. Thankfully, you're in a prison already. Find the nearest cell and wait until I'm done here. Then I'll drag you to the executioner myself.
A felony. I've made a terrible mistake. Please don't arrest me.
Is that sarcasm? Do you know what I do to people who employ the lowest, most base form of humor? I fire them. Alas, as you are woefully unemployed, I'll have to do the next best thing and have you killed. In the next room is the finest automechanical purveyor of death ever made. Try not to scratch the paint with your skull. It was fucking expensive.
Yeah. I don't think so. Yeah, sure. I can't wait to get in there and kill you. This is going to be the highlight of my year. Okay, now auto mechanical. So I am going to swap out for that. Okay. And in fact, I'm going to equip it. And just in case. Right. The elevator just to go down the stairs, huh? Ah, cannot hack giant door. Whoa, I see you. Ram indeed. So do not get in front of this guy. Stay in front of it. Oh, drones. Fucking drones. Okay. Now this dude here. Yeah. That's what I thought. I guess he has that big old fucking shield though. Yeah, it's getting shield. Okay. Let me do this again. For the, no! Fuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Fuck you. I will take that, though. Whew. That was something. Oops. What am I getting? There we go. I don't know why I'm taking these things. I said I wasn't going to take things. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I mean, except for when I got stuck, but... Yeah, are these... These are the auto-mechanical bays. Okay. Oh, don't tell me I'm fucking... Okay, I'm not encumbered. I was just moving slow, that's all. Alright, well... Can I get through here? Perfect. Nice wallpaper. Ah. I was like, of course, they've got the nice, swanky area for the higher-ups or whatever.
Seems like we need to save Hal.
And we're alive.
Oh. Well, he went down fast. Nyoka, I assume? I didn't even see. That was a good confrontation.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You lunatic. You broke into the board's own fortress and killed the chairman just to rescue one doddering old man? You are absolutely out of your mind. And I can't begin to thank you enough.
You're welcome. You kidding? The board never stood a chance against me.
Ah, all in a day's work for you, huh? You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated.
Yeah, I do not like the sound of that.
Earth has gone dark.
I knew
We
it!
haven't received a single message in 3
Fucking
years.
knew it!
There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
They haven't exactly been hands-on around here anyway. So there's one less rubber stamp to worry about.
Earth is humanity's home planet, Miss Fenhill. The psychological effects of losing our original home will be devastating.
So we've got to make do on our own. Seems to me that'll make us stronger in the end anyhow.
You're quite right. We've got no choice but to make do on our own. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
Wait, hold on. I need to ask you something.
Yes, certainly. I'll help however I can.
Now let's see what it is that I have to ask. What else do we know about that? What do you think happened?
I don't know what happened, but something must have gone horribly wrong. I don't know why Earth's gone silent. I don't even know if Earth exists anymore. We have no connection back to Earth, and return is likely impossible. We're completely alone out here.
You mentioned a frigate disappearing?
You might have heard of the Earth Directorate's frigate. Half the colony's entire military was on that ship. They were returning to Earth when they vanished without a trace. That was 2 years ago. We haven't heard a word from them since. Whatever happened to Earth likely happened to them.
Which would be a problem if it happened to us. I know about the other colonists, Phineas.
I wasn't trying to hide the truth from you, but after all you've done, I owe you an explanation.
Oh, the other ones he tried to wake up?
Yes, I experimented on the Hope's colonists. Each of my experiments ended in catastrophic failure. Each of my subjects died in agony. You are my first and only success. I didn't tell you about the others because I didn't want to burden you. My failures are my own to bear, not yours.
I'm not sure that I am in the position to be forgiving him, but I will say better late than never, I guess.
I'm not asking you to forgive me. Law knows I won't forgive myself, but I'm going to try to set things right. My apologies. I need to get a hold of myself. We've far more pressing issues to worry about right now. If you have any more questions, ask me. I'll answer as best I can.
I don't think so. We've got work to do.
Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
I feel like I'm better as an agent of chaos. But you count on me. I'll help you revive the other colonists.
When I revived you, I thought you were going to help me save this colony. I was wrong. I had our roles reversed, you see. You're the one who's going to save us all. I'm just the one who set you on your path. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed. and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Lifetime employment program ruined. Chaos on Tartarus leaves board in disarray. Anarchists destroy our utopian future. Yeah, I fucked up your prison.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority.
Can't even do a separate voice actor.
But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause.
Excellent.
MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. The collapse of Edgewater left its workers bereft of any purpose in life. Most of them made their way to Adelaide McDevitt's camp, hoping to ingratiate themselves into her favor. Adelaide accepted only a few to her community.
Oh, fuck you, Adelaide.
The rest were turned away and likely died of starvation. Nevertheless, Adelaide's camp grew into a well-established town. Adelaide McDevitt refused to cooperate with the ongoing effort to save Halcyon from collapse. A sympathetic deserter stole a copy of her research and delivered it to the Hope's scientists. It is unclear how useful Adelaide's research was. An optimistic estimate suggests her work may have bought Halcyon another few years of survival. Adelaide would never know. She died that winter. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers, schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising.
Yay, Junlei.
The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Even the Gorgon asteroid, though a distant enigma to most of Halcyon, felt the aftershocks of your actions. The destroyed Adrenatime synthesizer became a symbol of the board's cruelty and a rallying point for Wells and his scientists as they sought to build a more humane, ethical halcyon. They cleared the dead from Gorgon's laboratories and repurposed them to aid in the crucial work
At first I thought
of
them
solving
was
the
the
colony's
dead, and I was like, are they
nutritional
making
crisis.
zombies? No, I'm
Gorgon,
at the
which had once
laboratories.
sown death and destruction across Halcyon, became a source of hope and renewal. The Gorgon Project's final explosive end was bittersweet for Olivia Ambrose. She wandered the colony's fringes alone, searching for others like her who despised the board and meant to destroy them. In time, she found Phineas Wells and his cadre of scientists, and she joined them in their efforts to save Halcyon. For a while, she even knew an uneasy peace. But for all that, Olivia found purpose in Wells' project. She was always haunted by the memory of her daughter, Minnie, who hadn't lived to see the better world they were building. She never did forgive herself for the horror her work had wrought on Halcyon. But she remembered fondly the daring captain who'd put an end to it at last. In spite of everything, the Gorgon asteroid remained a sobering reminder of the potential for progress and disaster in humanity's most ambitious efforts. The Rizzo's company in Halcyon dissolved after the collapse of the board. Needless to say, the launch of Spectrum Brown was indefinitely delayed. A stockpile of Spectrum Brown remains buried deep beneath the ruins of the old distillery, abandoned to time and attrition. With the dissolution of the board, Ruth Bellamy found herself without the two constants in her life, Byzantine culture and her sister Belinda. In the face of this new reality, she struggled to find a direction for her life. The colony had moved on from Halcyon Helen and would require new heroes in the years to come.
I don't think I mentioned that
And
before,
so
but I love
Ruth
her jacket.
Bellamy decided it was time to exit stage left. She quietly disappeared from public view. The dissolution of the board did not mean the dissolution of the ambitions of Cedric Kincannon, the charismatic leader of Sublight Underground. Cedric offered Slug's transportation services to the newly thawed colonists and set to work ferrying resources and food wherever they were most needed. For better or worse, Slug headgear became fashionable in the following years. As the board began to disintegrate, Spencer Woolrich found himself at a crossroads. Cling to what little stardom remained to him, or help usher Halcyon into its new future. To the surprise of many, perhaps himself most of all, Spencer chose the latter option.
Good for him.
Having learned a variety of different skills in the many different roles played throughout his lengthy career, Spencer founded a radio serial dedicated to staying alive despite the odds. His subjects included how to survive violent encounters with only grazing wounds, dispense pithy one-liners for tense scenarios, and, of course, how to look good doing both. After a brief attempt at dating Helen as one person rather than two, which both Bertie and Helen found too strange, Bertie struck out on his own to try his hand at raising woolly cows. Many of his former Rangers teammates soon followed, accompanied by the woolly cow the team had originally plied with alcohol. The dairy farm thrived under Bertie's leadership and care.
Oh, that's good.
The Dairy Rangers privately believed that the woolly cows softened Bertie's temper considerably, although the only one brave enough to say this to his face was promptly headbutted.
I mean,
due to the board's dissolution, many of the Prophet's old customers no longer found quite the same value in productivity seminars that they once had. With her business drying up, the Prophet chose to take her followers down a new path. Months later, salvagers on Eridanos found clues leading them to a seemingly abandoned bunker out in the wilderness. Inside, they discovered horribly mangled corpses, sacrificed to a blood-scrawled portrait of a sprat-headed deity. The Prophet was not among the bodies. Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective.
Ellie's so
She
awesome.
finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed.
Oh, they make me
The
so
stories
happy.
of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name. And in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation.
Good for you,
The
Nyoka.
SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation.
That's good.
Geoengineering
Wondering how
projects
that
and
was going.
social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived.
It's interesting watching all
Today,
this, knowing
Halcyon
there's a
has
sequel,
stabilized.
but not knowing what's in
The
the
people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, But for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future.
Yeah, that's what
And
happens
what about
when you break into a prison.
the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
And there it is, The Outer Worlds. You know, I really did enjoy this game. I had a lot of fun with it. It was the theme of like capitalism, but like over the top, and everything was interesting enough. Sometimes it felt maybe a little repetitive, but there were cool characters that I really enjoyed. The fighting and the shooting was okay. I really liked time dilation once I got used to it. Never obviously got the hang of the melee, but as long as I could stay ranged and, you know, long things generally went fine. I love that package delivery gun. I needed just a nice big OP heavy hitter, and that was really fun to run through the end of the game with. I really liked a lot of my party members, especially Mioka, Parvati, and Ellie. Max was alright too. I didn't really care about Felix, he just didn't interest me, and Sam didn't really interest me either. But the three women were really interesting, really fun to play with, and really cool, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I mentioned before, I really liked the DLCs because they were tighter stories, you know, and I was kind of in the one place, like, I guess even through the base game, you would end up in one place for a while doing all the story there. But it was always, you know, you always knew it was part of the big story, and sometimes you would leave and go places and come back. And that's fine, that's the game, but I liked in the DLC that was like, okay, I'm here, I'm doing this thing, and it just worked really well for me with that. I'm not sure that I would replay this game. I sometimes replay RPGs, but usually it's like BioWare stuff where there's romances and you can like romance different characters. I feel like that was the one thing I missed in this game, but on the other hand, I'm not sure. I don't know. We had the romance between Parvati and Junlei, which was phenomenal. Parvati's like quest was my hands down the best one, my favorite in the whole game. I loved setting her up with Junlei. I loved everything about it. And so that was pretty great. And there were some things I do differently, like I learned since the first big decision I made in Edgewater where I destroyed Edgewater and then saved the botany place, that, oh, there was a way to kind of save both. And it's like, oh, that wasn't apparent to me when I was playing, obviously through originally. It was more obvious when I got to like MSI and the Iconoclasts and stuff that like, hey, I think I'd be able to do this. Oh, they're talking about voices here. That was something that bugged me the whole game, was even though that's a pretty long list of voices, it was really obvious to my ear when I was talking to NPCs that had the same voice actor as a different NPC. And it was like, I felt like I was hearing the same few handful of voices over and over, and it was very difficult for me. Like, it broke my suspension of disbelief that I was talking to different people. You know, it made it, to me, it was like constantly like talking to the NPC of a video game, because I've heard this voice before. That was one of the things I really struggled with while playing this game. But speaking of voice actors, the main ones for my party were awesome. I love especially Mioka's voice actor, who's playing Ikora Rey in Destiny 2 and is amazing. But they were all great. It was just the NPC. And especially like shopkeepers or like the people you talk to who have just a few lines, like the receptionists, or that, you know, that's where they seem to reuse the voices a lot, and it just, that was tough. I loved having infinite storage. I could just dump all the things on the ship and never have to really worry about making too many decisions, and I deeply appreciate that. I do wish they could have had a system like Dragon Age Inquisition where if you put armor on a party member, it looks like their outfit, but maybe in a different color or a different thing. Like, I understand that they wear whatever, like, UDL armor you pick up, but then I never got to, like, have them look like what I wanted them to look like. And it's that I hate having to make the decision between effective armor and something that looks cool on the character. And so I wish there could have been a way to have effective armor that looks on the character. That's something I wish I could have had. But yeah, I liked, you know, I played, I think, the second and all the DLCs with basically the same loadout of guns, and I'm glad I was able to kind of settle into something where it's like, okay, this gun for mechanicals, and here's my range gun, and then, you know, a couple other things. And that I really liked as well, was that eventually I didn't have to keep upgrading. Like, I could just modify or tinker instead of having to replace, and that was really great. So yeah, an interesting game. I saw the trailer for the second game, the sequel, and I was super excited about it, but then it's a PC Xbox exclusive, and I do not have a PC. I might have access to an Xbox, so we'll see what happens by the time that game actually comes out. But if I can play, I would be interested in playing it, because I did have quite a fun time playing this game over the past 10 months or so that I've been playing it. And I am about out of time, so I'm going to finish watching the credits, but I'm going to end the video here. So thank you all for following along. I hope it's been as fun for you to watch as it's been for me to play.